mile-an-hour passenger train going to go when I got a freight train rolling the whole length down the state of Florida at 50 miles an hour, toting 200-something cars? And the fact is, it's not going to happen. You can't to do higher speed rail. You have to re-engineer all the tracks. They're designed for a certain speed. And I tell people that's the difference. If you go 995, it's engineered for higher speed,
right? And
you have bank turns. Like you take a turn on 995, it's a bank turn, not quite NASCAR bank because it's not designed for $180. It's designed for 75, 80 miles an hour.
Right.
You get on US 1, it's flat all the way. Because US 1, you're not supposed to be doing more than 40, 50 miles an hour. If you're going to take your trains and you're going to move them at a higher speed on those tracks, you have to re-engineer the tracks all the way from Miami up to Cocoa.
Is that part of the plan? Part of the project? No.
They're not going to be able to do that. They're talking about double tracking. That means doubling every bridge.
And won't that disrupt the boats?
Well, it's just very expensive. If you have to double everything, it's going to be very expensive. I really think in the end, you'll just see a handful of passenger trains go by every day, and they'll tote 15, 20 cars behind them, and they'll be doing 60 miles an hour like everybody else.
So that 3 hours will be 4.5 hours.
So the only place you can really pick up any speed is when you turn west out of Cocoa to Orlando.
Like parallel to the B line.
Right, because there's absolutely nothing there.
Right.
But you're not going. If you think of like people here in Melbourne, you talk about the number of crossings in Melbourne or Rockledge. Think what it's like down in Fort Lauderdale. I'm just saying is Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, these counties, we've got 500,000 people. They've got 2 million people.
Right.
They are heavily congested.
Well, and there it would make sense. It doesn't make sense here. But
we're just on the route.
Yeah,
you're saying no, Laureen. We're just on the route. It's just in
we're just there 32 times a day, and that could affect our property values.
Yeah,
too,
but you won't. But it's a pie in the sky project, and they really got bit in the rear end because they so grossly overpromised what they could do that people believed them. And it would be a problem if you can actually run. If you had 32 a day, basically every 30 minutes, train went flying by here at 110 miles an hour. That would be a problem, but it's not going to happen.
And Scott, we had Kurt Smith in here last week, and he said his biggest, the biggest problem he has, and of course he won against 6 candidates, is spending. What do you see the biggest problem that we're having? You said you're not as worried about the trains. Housing seems to be looking better. How do we sustain?
Yeah. Housing has gotten better. Trains aren't a big deal. You've got to find a way how you're going to set your budget and set your priorities in the budget. And I think that's where Kurt's at on the spending issues. My concerns have been the large amounts of corporate welfare that we have going out. And it's the EDC, it's the community redevelopment districts, it's the cash stipends to companies supposedly to move here. And those total up over $10 million a year. And when your revenue coming in is probably about $250 million you have to spend, it's a large part of your budget. And it's money not being spent on fundamental things the county should do. So my thing is, something, if you're the city of Melbourne and you want to brick your streets, more power to you, the county shouldn't be paying for that. And if you want to go up there in Merritt Island and put an ungodly number of palm trees down the middle, the rest taxpayers shouldn't be paying for that.
What's going on with the Miracle City Mall?
Nothing.
So, Scott Ellis, he predicted that one too.
Well, every few months they push off the demolish date 2 more months. So it's supposed to have been demolished in October, and of course we're running out of October now. I don't think the project's ever going to fly. And it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing with Titusville, Laureen, but Titusville is a very difficult place to do business, and they're insistent that they think they can revive the US 1 corridor like it's 1965. They have a fabulous interchange at Garden Street 995 that you could use that and put a number of nice retail outlets out there that are easily accessible by the whole county. And then people have kicked around Trader Joe's and some places, basically the Winter Park type stores and all. But to do that, you need to be out on a 995 interchange.
Yeah, visible from I-95.
Visibility, plus if you all want to go up there, the odds are you'll go right up 95 to hit it. Going up US 1 is a very limited amount of traffic coming through there, but they insist on doing it. If you take a look in Melbourne US 1, it's slowly coming back, and it's been very painful, and it's mainly coming back a lot of car dealerships and office buildings that are coming back along the US 1 corridor.
Do you think with the new commissioners coming in, we've got, Jim? If Jim Barfield wins in the car, you think we'll be seeing some, cutting down on spending in the commission?
I'm not sure what you'll see. Jim Barfield, I'm sure will win. Nothing against Jack Smink, but I just don't believe a third-party candidate can win. just don't think you can win third party. Certainly Kurt will win because the Democratic candidate has never campaigned, never gone out. I don't know anybody that's met him yet. I don't know what will happen. I would hope that it would change. I'm not sure that it will. There's very powerful forces out there to keep the money being spent as it is.
Wow.
And when you take a look at your EDCs and TDCs, people have a vested interest in all that money.
What
and
about
they fight
jobs,
to the death
Scott?
in the campaigns.
So,
Well, but jobs here, the problem is, Laureen, Titusville has a big problem with this. The rest of the county, a little problem. Everybody wants to hit a grand slam home run instead of just talking out single. And so everybody wants a second coming of the Apollo program to hire 10 or 20,000 people. Versus there's lots of little things that can happen to get jobs. And I'll give you a quick thing. My brother's neighbor, 1962 house in Crest Haven. And she wanted to replace all the windows. This is 2012. So she's going to replace 50-year-old windows. And she was good to spend the money on the windows and pay the guy to do it. Then when she got through what was going to cost in permits, and then as part of the permitting, she was going to have to basically drill holes in the stucco and be able to put shields over every one of the windows. Her cost almost doubled. So the house still sits next to my brother with 1962 windows.
And that shouldn't be that way.
But so who's out? Okay, you, the window manufacturer, you didn't get a sale. You, the window installer, didn't get a sale either.
Yeah.
All because...
And the house still has outdated windows in it that aren't energy efficient, which keeps the electric bills up.
Right, and I could have had new windows, which more energy efficient and stronger windows. They're stronger windows, they're better windows. I don't have them because I insisted on perfect windows. Because I insist on perfect windows, I now get the same old windows I had. And you know, Roy, because you do handiwork a lot of places, and you see that, where by the time of what they insist on doing on the permitting, the work just does not get done at all.
Right.
And when the work doesn't get done at all, everybody that would have had that job doesn't get it.
Doesn't get it.
Right. And so just like we talked about where the cities seem to be keeping these houses and they're not letting them get into private hands, they're staying in the bank's hands, those are jobs, again, for the drywall guys, masons, all these people that could have work. You know,
the independent contractors.
If government would just let up, we could get a lot of jobs here. They're not Cape jobs. We're not going to get Cape jobs again. But there's a lot of other jobs we get with a very favorable business environment, expansion of doctor's office, veterinarians,
Still rockets going up, right?
And Scott, we want to thank you. I hope that you will come back. We're honored to have our clerk of court, Scott. We are wrapping up here. Thank you, Scott Ellis, Brevard County Clerk of Court, coming to us. Common Sense, our clerk for over 14 years. This is the Laureen Trent Show on WMEL. Next week, we have Congressman Bill Posey. That will be Congressman Bill Posey, a day before the election. We want to thank Scott Ellis and stay tuned to the Laureen Trent Show here on WMEL next. That'd be November 3rd for Congressman Posey.
Thanks,
We're
Scott.
signing off.
Now you
Thank
can
you,
get
Scott.
1300 WMEL digital on your iPhone. Just go to 1300WMEL.com and then click the listen button for complete details on the iPhone app for AM 1300 WMEL.
Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, but she doesn't have a lot to say. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, but she changes from day to day. I want to tell her that I love her a lot, but I gotta get a belly full of wine. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, someday I'm gonna make her mine. Oh yeah, someday I'm gonna make her mine.
The Monday forecast has a high of 82 along with sunny skies. 62 for the low tonight. A high of 84 and plenty of sun tomorrow. Wednesday and Thursday will have sunny skies with a high of 83 each day. Friday's high 80 with a 30% chance of rain. Expect highs in the upper 70s and lows in the lower 60s over the weekend with sunny skies throughout. It's opening night for the Orlando Magic tomorrow night at 7 on Your Home for the Magic, AM 1300 WMEL.
It's about your life and your money. It's the Dave Ramsey Show.
A payday lender makes anywhere from 420% annual rate of return to upward of 800%, and in some cases over 1,200% return. Now, when you borrow money at 400% interest, that's called getting screwed. That's called stupid on your part, and the people doing it to you are the absolute worst because the people they're taking advantage of here are poor people.
It's Dave Ramsey, 2 to 5 p.m. weekdays on AM 1300 WMEL.
WMEL, Cocoa Beach, Melbourne.
It's 2 o'clock.
NBC NBC News Radio, I'm Marlis Majerus. A nurse forcibly quarantined in New Jersey after